Hey, what's going on, guys? Gdoggcasey here with my buddy Matt, casting another StarCraft 2 game from the Chobo Team League. This is a Week 2 matchup between CTsix EU and All Inspiration. We'll introduce the top right corner, the red Protoss. For Team All Inspiration, it's Acadien.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of Dead Wing, we have our CT6 EU player, the orange Protoss, Shinobu.
Shinobu. So we got a PvP here on Dead Wing. We've only had, I think, just one PvP so far, so I'm interested to see how these players want to go ahead and work this matchup, because there's a few different branching paths you can take that are viable, and it's interesting to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, and from my experience with PvP and also with casting with Casey, I've realized that when you're in a PvP, the person with the early aggression, the last person to drop their second base is normally the one that's going to win, just because once the Protoss army, if it gets into a long game, it's who has the more Colossi, who has the more of the big units.
Yeah, if it were to get into a late game situation, generally if you drop your expansion early, you're vulnerable, let's say, because unless you can defend it perfectly, Protoss should be able to send enough units at you to tear it down.
Yeah, so unfortunately Shinobu sends out a scout and it is in the wrong direction, so let's see what way it is going now. I think it doesn't have a waypoint, he's just controlling it manually right now. But it looks like he is heading in the right direction. He may be high-fiving this probe. They may just miss each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and right away I'm seeing here that Acadien seems to have to jump on Shinobu, at least just at the start, because his gateway is already finished, whereas Shinobu's gateway isn't even done yet, and the core is already half done for Acadien. So if he were to go for some sort of early play here, he's going to have the lead.
Now, the difference there also being that our CT6 EU player has both gases already complete. So that's the reason why the core is down a little bit sooner than Acadien. Shinobu.
Yep, so maybe he's going to go for like a Stargate because he wants that extra gas early. He's only got 2 in his extra gas here, which could be intentional. Who knows? But yeah, he might be going for a Stargate play. For Acadien, we actually see a proxy Twilight Council here, and we might actually see a DT shrine go down beside this.
Oh, now I don't like the placement of this, because it's right in the middle of the map and where probes can scout it.
He didn't see it, though.
No, Shinobu didn't see it. He just
raced past it.
Wow, that is very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, so this could be a DT rush. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. And yeah,
there's the shrine.
There's a shrine. So. All right, well, let's see if Shinobu can get a scout on this. He actually did drop a second gateway, so he's got all this gas that he's mining right now, but he's only getting gateway units, so I wonder if he's going to get some sentries. And actually, yeah, I should have just looked in the production tab. There's a sentry on the way.
Now, sentry isn't going to do very much against these DTs if he gets the timing out right. Now, I'm a big fan of DTs, so I want to see the timing on this, so...
Yeah, we'll see what time this actually hits at. Right now, Shinobu did drop the robotics facility, and that's going to be key here because he can get an observer out to defend against this. Acadien's going to drop that really forward pylon, I think, here, right by the 3rd. Yep.
Now, let's see whether or not the first thing that comes out of the Robo Bay is an observer, because if it is, then that's really going to stifle the DT play, and I feel like that Acadien, if this fails, he's going to be a little bit behind.
He's going to be pretty far behind, yeah. And that's a situation where
the first thing out of the Robo Bay is an Immortal, unfortunately. Checking the timing of this, the Dark Shrine is done. I don't see any DTs in production, though. They're not being warped in yet.
There's one. He's on his way. Another one following up behind him. And yeah, you're right. Having that Immortal coming out first is going to be very bad for Shinobu. Oh, he canceled it right away and went with an observer. That was really quick reaction there. And the DT's working on the Stalker. The force field's trapping the Stalker and the DT. And actually, the DT's going to get out and kill another sentry. We have another DT wrecking some probes here, too.
That was very lucky by the sentry to notice, without seeing it, where they were to throw those force fields down. So There's the observer, and down goes the sentry, or down goes the DTs.
Yeah, we're killing lots of probes here, though. 11 probes down before the DTs finally get cleaned up. So he put himself in a position where he's ahead now by about 12 probes, and he, his economy is going to be better. And it looks like he's going to drop down that second now, because now is pretty much the best time for him to know that he's going to have the economy to be able to hold us off.
Now let's see how quickly our orange Protoss player can recuperate from this. Now he's got 12, 15 probes out right now, 16 probes.
Yeah, but Acadian has 27, and he's still making DTs over here. With a sentry too, and then some zealots. So he's going to go in for another kind of attack here. And we'll see. There's going to be a mortal out, but that immortal's not really going to be helpful against the zealots and the DTs.
Well, let's see what kind of damage they could do and where the positioning of the observer is. Now, the observer is right with the army right now, which is a very good thing. And a force field out of nowhere, I'm kind of surprised.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh my god, he's a little scared, eh? He force field just in case. We have a quick Archon coming at us. Almost the fastest I've ever seen an Archon come out.
We're at the 850 mark. Yeah, let's see whether or not Acadian keeps up the pressure, because he realizes that he has a better economy. Now, it looks like he canceled his natural, Acadian, and now Shinobu is reacting with a forward pylon right in that natural.
Yeah, gateway research done for him as well, so he can definitely flip the switch here. But I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting battle with all these zealots, a couple DTs mixed in. But where'd those DTs go? Are they done? Oh yeah, they morphed into the Archon. That's right. So, Zealot, Archon, and a sentry. We'll see if this is going to be enough, because that immortal's actually not going to be all that helpful.
Here it comes. Now, unfortunately, that Archon should have let those zealots go in first and then try and do their damage. That mothership core is gone.
Yeah, but it did manage to drop down a Nexus cannon before it died, so Acadian kind of has to stay back a bit here. That Archon's going to take a bit too much damage, I think. They might go down, yeah. The thing with Archons, is their shields are very beefy, but they only have 10 hit points underneath that. So, once the shield goes down, they're basically dead. He has the ability to put some pressure with this, so especially if he keeps hammering in Archons and Zealots, we'll see if he can actually finish this off.
Yeah, I'm curious to see as to whether or not Shinobu is actually going to counter with at least some sort of small attack from this forward pylon to be able to put some pressure on and maybe move that army back to base. And here goes an attempt to get rid of the Robo Bay as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that Immortal does pop, but he will be able to kill it. And those sentries could jump on that Immortal. It looks like he's just trying to supply block Shinobu now. That Immortal's not taking any damage from these Archons.
Wow, taking out 3 pylons right now. Shinobu is very supply blocked at the moment now.
Yep.
Now with this force, it looks like he should be able to hold it off. They're kind of bunched, which is not good against Archons because of the splash damage. But
definitely not enough attack power here to finish this off. It did do some damage, but I'm actually not sure if Acadian really came out ahead there.
Oh, and here comes some warping in units of some zealots right into the main base.
Yeah, gonna take care of that one. Yeah, and there's nothing back here, although there are a couple DTs being morphed in, and actually there's no vision here, so those zealots are pretty much dead.
They're going to try and do as much as they can, probably. And they probably are not even going to get a single probe, no.
No, although he was able to kill this one.
Good reaction by Acadian. He saw that the zealots were coming in and saved his worker count, but here comes the drop of the natural, and they're probably going to take out that forward pylon now.
Yeah, both players getting ready to drop down that natural, but there's quite a few zealots on the way. I thought there was. Yeah, okay. Red zealots chasing out yellow or orange zealots, and now we can get both players dropping their natural. And actually, Shinobu's a little bit ahead here with the timing of his drop, or of his expand, I mean. So he's going to be a little bit in the lead.
So what a turn of events! We thought for sure with the coming out of the Immortal right from the Robo Beta start that Shinobu was almost all but done, but very good reaction to cancel, and Chrono Boost out an Observer and was able to hold off first DT rush. But the constant pressure by Acadian is taking its toll. If you look, units lost right now. Oh, it's even at 28 and 29. Wow.
Yeah, for units, but actual money spent lost is hurting Acadian a lot. A lot of his, like almost 1,500 of his initial resources went into that. So he spent a lot more money than Shinobu has, but he has more probes, so it's kind of okay to do that type of thing when you're ahead in the economic side of things.
So new Robo Bay is down and Chrono Boosting out some more Immortals.
Yeah, and we're going to lose that Dark Shrine and that Twilight Council. So Acadian's already got a second one being built back at home.
See, at first I was unsure about the placement of the Dark Shrine and the Twilight Council, but now I'm going back to my previous statement that it was a bad placement.
Well, it was going to die anyways, right? But it is out of the vision of the two watchtowers, which are generally where you're going to check, and the regular pathing that the units generally take don't actually cross this path. So I think that's why he put it there. He could have hit it here too, behind the bushes, but that's okay. I don't think it's really going to play out too much. Templar Archives dropping for Acadian here. I wonder if he's going to try for some storms. Although against the army composition of Shinobu, they're not really going to help too much.
Not at all, no.
Nice number of sentries and immortals and stalkers on the way.
Now here comes an hallucinated Phoenix. He's probably going to try and get as much information as possible. He's going to notice the second, and those Archons are probably going to take it out very quickly, though.
Maybe. Yeah, all he wanted to know about was the natural is taken, and he sees the army composition of Acadian as well, so he could be feeling fairly confident with his ability to win this fight if he wanted to go attack right now.
I actually didn't realize, but Shinobu has another hallucinated Phoenix right in the main right now, looking at everything with no
resistance, eh?
No resistance at all, no.
Yeah, he got a full sight on everything here, so he knows that, he may see High Templar, he may see Blink. He's actually going to go up against Charge, though. And, whoa, almost missed this fight here. I think Shinobu has enough to take this out, but he's retreating.
I think he may have saw the timing of Charge, and the Charge is going to come out very, very shortly.
Possibly. Charge is out now. And there are a few High Templar on the map.
And there they go.
Feedback on those sentries, but that's about it. Charge finishes, forcing Shinobu back where I feel like he probably could have stayed and maybe did some damage there, but I don't know.
Very good force fields, though, to trap that Immortal with so the Archon could just hammer away on it. But looks like our Shinobu is retreating.
Yeah, he's backing up. He could have warped in right from that pylon, too, but deciding not to, and I bet you now we transition into a third base. With Shinobu backing all the way up.
And five High Templars coming in, and two more Archons being created, so...
Yeah, he's definitely going into like a Zealot Archon type of composition, which is pretty good against Terran. I'm not sure how well it's actually going to do against this like Immortal Stalker army, but we'll have to take a look. Back at home, though, Colossi are being pumped out here for Shinobu, and he is getting that extended thermal lance, so... he's switching into a Colossi composition here.
Now, neither player with air units though, so I'm kind of surprised with the length of the game that's coming out. I haven't even seen a single starport go down yet. Or sorry, not starport.
The Stargate. Yeah.
Stargate.
Yeah, third base.
Watching
dropping.
too many Terrans.
There's a third base going down for Acadian as he's moving out here. Now, this is an interesting spot because we have Acadian researching +3 attack. But he has no armor upgrades where for Shinobu, he actually has +1/+1. So we'll see the difference between those two right in this next fight because it looks like Acadian's thinking about going in here.
Now, Shinobu's supply capped at the moment, unfortunately, so if he were to attack, it would be just this army that's available to him.
Yeah. But he does have a stock Colossi out here, and that's going to be pretty good against those Zealots, which Acadian keeps making.
But they are charged Zealots, so if they are probably going to be able to dodge a couple of those lasers.
I'd like to see Acadian warp in a couple zealots over here at this pylon down near the bottom middle of the map and start taking out these rocks. Then he can go for a bit of a multi-pronged attack. Good job with the Hallucinated Phoenix spotting the army location and the composition here. He knows exactly what's coming at him. But there could be 2 places for the attack to come through. And I don't know, he just saw that army, and now he's going to drop down to 3rd. That could be pretty vulnerable right now.
Yeah, now, Acadian is already working off of 3 bases, so the economy lead will go to Acadian. Now, they're moving out and have second thoughts.
Yeah, I think he was checking this location for a 3rd, but he didn't think that Shinobu would go down here, maybe? I'm not sure. He's backing up now. Shinobu doing a great job with those Hallucinated Phoenix, though, with the scouting. He knows everything.
So just from the looks of it right now, with the three bases going up, it's going to turn into a bit of a macro game, and one fight to win them all.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. And it looks like Acadian's dropping 2 Stargates down, so his response is going to be air units against what he sees here. And that actually might work a little bit better for him, considering Immortals and Colossi can't shoot up. So,
although there is a composition of 15 Stalkers in Shinobu's army right now, but...
yeah, that's definitely something to think about as well. Let's see what he goes for here. My guess is going to be Void Rays. A 3rd Stargate going down as well. He's really going into this. And the Hallucinated Phoenix comes in and sees both Stargates.
All 3.
Yeah, sorry, all 3, you're right. So definitely, like, if we look at the vision just for Shinobu, he can see everything he needs to see. Whereas the vision for Acadian, not so much. He hasn't really... well, he's been in there, but there's been lots added since.
I think Shinobu realizes this is his opportunity. He may be moving out...
yeah, he wants to get there before the Void Rays are finished because, I mean, yeah, he has Stalkers, but it's still nicer just to get there before they finish. A little bit of hesitance here coming from the...
now,
from both
what
players.
I would like to see from Acadian is a couple of Dark Templars just in the mix of things, because if they're not actually taken out, they're going to do a ton of damage, even though an Oracle's there. And here's the battle.
Yeah, battle coming in.
Good
Charge
micro.
Lot's doing good work here. That's a lot of Archons.
That really is, yeah.
The Colossi being microed fairly well, being able to stay out of range here. None of them have gone down yet. But now with the Void Rays out...
and only 7 Stalkers out, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we got these Charge Lots. They're going to surround these Stalkers. If they get within charge range, those Stalkers are done. One of them jumps in. 2, it's kind of like a delayed reaction there for these Zealots. They may actually die to the Colossi here. Yeah, they actually just end up running to their death.
That's unfortunate. Now, a waste of about 800 minerals there on those 8 charge lots.
We have a whole bunch of High Templar warped in at this pylon here. Just kind of sitting around. Okay, they're turning into Archons. Maybe he'll start working on these rocks now and kind of just alter the battlefield, you know? And he can come from different angles, and that's just going to make Shinobu have to think more. And when you're in the midst of a heated battle, you want to think as little as possible, you know? You want to be able to make easy decisions, not have to bounce your APM all over the place.
Now, these Void Rays, if microed properly, it's going to take longer for the Stalkers to kill them than it would be for the Void Rays to take out a Colossi, so... going heavy into the air units now.
Yeah, lots and lots of Void Rays coming out, and that's really going to help out Acadian here. I think if he's allowed to get this many Void Rays, he's going to end up pushing into the lead. Although we don't see any upgrades for air units yet. And in terms of just upgrades in general, actually, both players finally getting +1 armor for Acadian. But Shinobu hasn't moved into +2/+2 yet.
Oh, and Shinobu only has 5 Stalkers in his unit composition right now. Also with the 5 Archons, though, that can attack air units, but not much to defend the air if he does get enough Void Rays out. We're looking at 6 Void Rays at the moment.
Mm-hmm. With 2 more on the way out. Yeah, definitely. And Shinobu's just wanting to defend
we're not paying attention. We have Acadian coming in with a warp prism right along the left-hand side of the map.
Oh, nice catch there. Yeah, I actually didn't see that. We'll see what he wants to do with this, because the army that Shinobu has is not really the most mobile. So we'll see if he can drop down a whole bunch of charge lots and just wreak havoc on some production here.
Now, unfortunately, there's nothing in the main base, so the only thing that he's going to be taking out are buildings.
Yeah, which could hamper the production. And actually, Acadian's moving in from the front here. He's going to attack this fourth base. I'd like to see him get some... Yeah, Zealots coming in now. They're going to go for the probe line, which doesn't have any probes in it. But a huge battle going on right now. Archons on Archons with Colossi and Void Rays. A little bit of a mishap there for Acadian. He was focusing his Void Rays on the base instead of on the fight. But it's not even going to matter as he turns around. Oh, wow, he's actually getting cleaned up here.
That was a big turnaround. I felt like there was a lot of Void Rays, but they all went down in a very short span of time. Although these lots in the main of Shinobu are just wreaking havoc right now.
Yep, killing a bunch of pylons, killing a bunch of buildings. Finally, Shinobu's going to be able to mop this up. Probably lose one or two more pylons, though. But yeah, it was because the Void Rays were all bunched together, and the Archons were just taking them out easily. But Acadian definitely has the upper hand here. He's still ahead in economy by far with 72 probes. And he's got forward pylons in very smart positions where he can just keep the pressure up. He could probably take out this fourth base right now.
And unfortunately, Acadian not paying attention, losing that void prism or that warp prism, and now Shinobu's is supply blocked.
Yeah, he managed to take out that base. It's all he really wants to do. He's going to keep the lead here because he does have his own fourth up and running that's been running for a while now. And he's just going heavy, like we said earlier, heavy into those Void Rays. And I think that's a good decision, although these Archons are definitely countering that pretty well right now. He's just got to try to focus them down first and then let his Void Rays do all the damage.
Now, I feel like the pressure's coming more from Acadian with the forward pylons. You don't see, although they're a warp prism now for Shinobu, also in the main of Acadian. They are trading blow for blow right now.
Yeah, is that going to actually warp anything in here?
I don't know. It's been sitting there for a little bit right now. I just noticed it, but the army is so far away that if he was going to drop something, it would do a lot of damage. And we have a battle in the middle.
Yeah, we see the Stalkers surrounding the Archons for Shinobu. And I don't know. I think Shinobu's going to pull ahead here. Those Void Rays, though, not all of them are attacking. Oh, and we have, like, a whole bunch of Zealots being warped in from the side here. This is going to help turn the tide of the battle.
Yeah. Those Colossi are going to get surrounded, and
this is the opportunity for Shinobu to drop the main, but he's not doing it right now.
Yeah. Oh, and here we go. We have some warp-ins of some Zealots. Only 3 Zealots, though, but they're into the main.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of damage they're going to do.
Good response.
Oh, but a very good response.
Yeah, seeing that before they had a chance to do any damage, and he's still pushing the natural here now for Shinobu. There's a lot of Void Rays here. I don't think he could really defend this. He keeps warping in Zealots.
Yeah.
Zealots can't jump that high. Yeah, there's the
and
GG.
there's the GG. Wow. So I was a little bit wrong in regards to the next battle wins, but looks like Acadian was able to pull it out with the implementation of air units into his army composition and took it away with the Void Rays.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game. I'm impressed to see like a nice long macro game here. We made it to the 32-minute mark. And a good decision by Acadian to switch into the Stargate play, which kind of threw Shinobu for a bit of a loop because each player both had their moments where they could have ended the game, I think. Early on, I think Shinobu had the edge after defending that DT rush. But then, he kind of let Acadian get into his comfort zone. I feel like Acadian's a bit of a macro player. As we saw from week 1, too, he out-macroed his opponent there. So good job by both players, but Acadian gets the extra good job for winning the game and giving Team All Inspiration a little bit more of an edge here.
And it was quite a great game, and thank you everybody for watching, and look forward to the next episode.